difficult to put it in that kind of context, but clearly when you start to imagine the number of people that may have perished or been injured today, that may in fact end up being what we're dealing with here. Phone numbers about people who have been injured. A lot of people are unaccounted for. A lot of people worked in those businesses in the towers here you're seeing on the screen. A lot of people worked in the neighboring area. A lot of people are having difficulty communicating with their loved ones and are having difficulty getting home. There will be, within the next few hours, a number of phone numbers we'll be able to give to you so people can seek information. They are not yet available. I am told, perhaps a little more than an hour from now, Marcia, that we should have another briefing, right?
Just one more thing we want to tell you. There's a critical need for blood here in New York City, and they've set up 3 locations where people can go to donate blood. One is at 153 East 63rd Street. One is at Red Cross headquarters at 66 Amsterdam Avenue. And there's another one that's been set up at 310 East 67th Street. Again, there's a critical need for blood to deal with the people who've been injured in this incident. And we ask that people, if they can donate blood, go to 153 East 63rd Street, 66th and Amsterdam Avenue, that's the Red Cross headquarters, or 310 East 67th Street.
And if you don't get to that today, again, this will be going on, unfortunately, for a number of days. The need for blood will go on perhaps for weeks or more. So keep it in the back of your mind. When you have a moment, take some time out and donate some blood. People are going to need it. Another thing we want to clear up, there was a report that the police headquarters had been evacuated, and the police commissioner, Bernard Kerik, says that the command center at One Police Plaza is open and running, although I imagine a number of the offices there have been evacuated. The other thing we need to address is why we are at an undisclosed location. The city's emergency bunker was apparently destroyed in this terrorist attack. Marcia, you have a little more on that?
Well, the bunker is not exactly destroyed yet, but it is precarious. It had caught on fire. There's no indication right now whether or not it will be able to be reopened in the near future. They are using the police emergency command center at One Police Plaza. But we also want to tell you about something else, and that has to do with the reports that we had earlier that there were a total of 8 planes that had been hijacked that might possibly be used for terrorist attacks. They were asked about that today, and they said that the 4 planes that had not been accounted for, that the federal government has accounted for them, and they don't think there's any further damage from those 4 unaccounted planes. Lou?
Well, that's the situation here. We're beginning to get some numbers as the City of New York's administration begins to pull itself together. You have to remember that the police and the fire department are dealing with very personal losses. A lot of emergency workers were in those buildings when they came down, and we suspect before the day is over we will learn that many firemen and many police officers perished in this incident.
Well, Mayor Giuliani actually said that some of the people who perished were his personal friends.
Yes, and you could see that etched in the faces of all those men who stood on that stage. This is a great and complex city. This is a city that has many resources, prides itself with being able to deal with emergencies, and to receive a body blow like this, to be completely knocked off your game and unable to group for a number of hours, really brings it home. This has been a horrific situation that they're trying to claw out of right now.
But Lou, yet Mayor Giuliani had a message of strength for the people of New York. He said the people of New York and America are strong, and that's the face that we need to show the people who did this to us. A face of strength, a face of resolve, and a face that's destined to make sure that we take care of the people who have been injured and the people whose lives have been interrupted by this tragedy.
And again, as we talk here, another ambulance, Hassel ambulance, heading downtown. The ambulances continue ferry and to bring people out of that area. They told us they are finding survivors in the wreckage. We hope they are finding many more, and we hope that the prediction that these numbers climb into 5 figures and above proves not to be the case.
And we should be back within the hour, because the mayor, the governor, and the other emergency service people say they're going to give us another briefing, another update within an hour to 90 minutes. And of course, we'll bring you the latest here at CBS 2.
With Marcia Kramer, I'm Lou Young, live in Lower Manhattan.
Lou and Marcia, thank you again. They are at an undisclosed location in Manhattan with the mayor and the governor, undisclosed for obvious reasons. They did mention also the loss of life that the mayor had mentioned involving New York City police officers, firefighters, and others. CBS 2's Vince Dementri with a report that 25 high-ranking Port Authority police were seen walking into Tower 1 just before its collapse today.
Let's take you now to Cindy Hsu in the newsroom. Cindy has more information on the plane that crashed in Pittsburgh. Cindy.
Angela, that's right. We have new pictures coming in right now. It is the United Airlines jetliner right after it crashed in Pittsburgh, western Pennsylvania. There you're seeing there, it's just a big hole right now. What this is a strip mine area, and it's a grassy field. It's edged by woods. The plane came down near the tree line. Minutes earlier, before the plane went down, a man who said he was a passenger on the plane told an emergency dispatcher in a cell phone call, he says, "We are being hijacked. We're being hijacked." Now, this plane had 45 people aboard. It was Flight 93. It took off from Newark. It was headed to San Francisco. It abruptly made a turn. The fate of the passengers were not, immediately officially announced now, but state police are saying they don't believe there are any survivors. It crashed specifically 80 miles southeast of Pittsburgh, just north of Somerset County Airport. We're also getting more quotes in. The man who called, saying he was calling from the bathroom of the plane, told the dispatchers that the plane was going down. He heard some sort of explosion and saw white smoke coming from the plane, and then they lost contact with him. Other people, other witnesses at the scene saying there's a crater gorged in the earth. The plane is pretty much disintegrated, nothing left but scorched trees. And again, this is a strip mine area. It is, a grassy area, not populated. Michael Maringer was out on a mountain bike with his wife. He said there was about 2 miles from the crash site, and he says that he heard the engine gun 2 different times and then heard a loud bang and the windows of the houses rattled. We also are hearing from a gentleman from a gas station that was about 2.5 miles away, and same thing, shook the gas station. Again, United Flight 93, it left Newark at 8:01 this morning. Specifically, it had 38 passengers, 2 pilots, and 5 flight attendants. In Chicago, United CEO James Goodwin says the airline is working with authorities, including the FBI. It is sending a team to Pennsylvania to assist in the investigation and to provide help to family members. And he says today's events are a tragedy and our prayers are with everyone at this time. In Pennsylvania's Richland Township Police Chief Jim Mock said that air traffic control coordinators reported this morning that a large aircraft was heading towards John Murtha Johnston Cambria County Municipal Airport in the township. The air traffic controller said the aircraft would not identify itself, and according to him, shortly after talking to the controllers, the plane crashed at Somerset County Airport, about 20 miles away from there. So we're just looking at these pictures again, the first pictures we're getting of the plane that went down in Pennsylvania. And that is a number of American Airlines. You can call 1-800-245-0999 for more information. Since we are talking about the man who called saying he was calling from the bathroom of that flight, we have a similar report that law enforcement officials confirmed that American Airlines Flight 77, which crashed into the Pentagon this morning, Barbara Olson, who's a former congressional staffer and Republican activist, was on that plane, and she had made a call from her cell phone moments before that crash.
Okay.
Again,
go ahead, Cindy.
Yeah, I was just saying, courtesy WTAJ, just pictures from the plane that went down in Pittsburgh.
Okay, Cindy, thank you for that update.
All right, we wanted to also point out there are 5 confirmed deaths. Obviously, we expect many, many more to be confirmed. 5 confirmed deaths from the World Trade Center attack. You saw on your screen a few minutes ago 156 deaths related to the American Airlines crashes, not the 2 other planes.
Right.
United Airlines, we don't have confirmed numbers yet from the airlines, although we do have some unconfirmed numbers of how many people were on board. We want to go now to someone who saw most of what happened here shortly after the first impact, I believe, on the World Trade Center tower. His name is Peter Demas. He is in the studio with us, and I guess, Peter, got up and ran down the street to record this with both your camera and your mind.
Basically, yes. My roommate Jeremy actually heard the first crash because we live about 10 blocks from the World Trade Center. So he got us up, my roommates, and I just grabbed the camera. We went down.
What made you grab the camera? Are you a freelance photographer?
I do it in my spare time.
We're looking at your videotape now here, by the way,
right,
Peter.
This is.
And this is the second plane that hit the tower, right?
Right. This is the first time the first building when it came down.
All right, is this the collapse of the building?
The collapse, the first collapse of the building.
Okay.
You see, I think, a couple people on the bottom screen.
While we look at the pictures, can you describe what was going on around you?
Just mayhem, people screaming, and then everybody starting to run as the smoke comes billowing up the street. It was just really chaotic. I thought we were actually going to be overwhelmed by the smoke, because at one point I just had to stop the camera, turn around, and everybody was running. Just
Everybody was running in one direction, and you were going in the other direction?
No, everybody was running
in the same
way.
direction.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you stayed there to shoot these pictures?
Look at this.
Pretty much,
this is incredible video here.
This is actually, we went back to the apartment, and I had it sitting on the tripod on the roof.
So you felt safe where you were at this point?
Oh, sure. Definitely.
When your roommates first woke you up, weren't you afraid? And certainly weren't you afraid to go down there?
Not necessarily. I don't know. I mean, I guess if you knew me, just get up and go.
Really?
So you were woken up by the first impact?
I wasn't woken up. My roommate Jeremy woke up, heard it, and then woke me and the rest of the roommates up. And that's when we proceeded to approach the trade center.